Take it away, Sam.
We're here with Chair Ken Martin. Thanks so much for being with us, Chairman.
I'm very grateful to be with you and with some of my friends I see on the screen there. So thanks for having me.
So we heard a lot today in the meeting. There's a mention of the Democrats losing ground with the working class voters. This has been an issue. It's shown up in polling. It showed up in the last election. What can the party do to restate its value proposition to working class voters and get them back into the party?
Well, look, and Senator Turner knows this, and she talks a lot about this. At the end of the day, I'm the first card-carrying union member to ever be elected to the DNC as the DNC chair. And at the end of the day, part of what we have to do to actually get working class people back is focus on a working class agenda. Talk about raising the minimum wage. Talk about passing paid family medical leave. Talk about earning sick safe time, right? Talk about collective bargaining rights. Talking about building an economy where we are actually increasing wages and we're fighting back against corruption and billionaires. That's what we need to do. And we need to be bold. We need to be aggressive. We need to be authentic about it. And at the end of the day, we need to meet voters where they're at. We need to communicate where they're actually at. That's one of the biggest lessons from this last election, and where we got our butts kicked is we weren't actually communicating with where voters were getting their information. And we have to do a better job of that. It's not just what we say, and trust me, a big part of it is what we say, but it's also how we say it and where we say it.
You talk about authenticity and talk about showing up for voters. Recent revelations about Joe Biden's reelection campaign, I think, are probably fairly alarming to lots of folks who consider themselves lifelong Democrats. What is the message to voters like that who are worried about what the party may have been doing, weren't forthright with voters? How can the Democrats appear to be more authentic, more honest to voters?
Well, look, I wasn't DNC chair then. And what I've led on and I've campaigned on and I'm delivering on is democratizing the DNC, opening up the party, full transparency, making sure that people aren't putting their thumbs on the scale, not pushing people out of the conversation. It's really critical because I saw the devastation after the 2016 election, right? Where so many people in this party who came out to participate for the first time were so disillusioned by what happened during that process that they actually checked out. We have to earn the trust back of voters, right, throughout this country. We have to re-earn their trust by making sure that we have a transparent, open process. We have a party that lives its values. I've always believed that you win elections through addition, not subtraction. We win elections by building our coalition, growing our coalition. And yes, it's sometimes, there's tension and dissent and there's debate. And guess what? Democracy's messy. And guess what? Our party has never evolved on critical issues without that type of conversation, right? It was in 1948, a young mayor of Minneapolis stood at the convention in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He brought us a plank forward, a civil rights plank, and it was voted down by the DNC platform committee. Now, he could have given up, but he didn't. He brought support for it on the floor. That civil rights plank passed. That young mayor named Hubert Humphrey got up on the floor of that convention and said, it's time for the party to march out of the shadows of states' rights forthrightly into the bright sunshine of human rights and civil rights. All the Dixiecrats got up and left our party. It changed our party forever, cemented us as a party of civil rights. And in 1972, it was feminists and women who led on equal rights and on reproductive rights. And in 2012, I was one of many authors to bring a marriage amendment, a marriage equality plank into our party platform. Nothing good in our party ever happens without people pushing our party on critical issues. And that's why it's so important for me as a chair of the party to democratize this party in a way that all voices are included. All voices feel like they have a chance to build power around the issues and to help move our party forward. And as long as I'm chair, I'm going to continue to lead that way.
Great. And I know you have to run. One last quick question. You talk about making sure that we don't have our thumbs on the scale within the party. We're really concerned, as you know, about dark money in Democratic primaries. Would you like to see less influence from dark money, removing the influence, especially in Democratic Party primaries?
Yes. In fact, I'll be bringing forward a resolution on that, and I will be pushing hard for our party to come up with solutions on this so that we actually have our candidates and campaigns realize that we have to live our values. We can't just say we want dark money out of politics and then have candidates in their campaigns accepting all types of support from these shadow groups. We actually need to reverse course, and I've said one of the things I'm a little bit of a bias this way because I come out of the state party world. We need more support for state parties. We need more support for local parties. We need more support for groups and organizations that are regulated, have full transparency, and are closest to the voters, not these outside dark money groups, mainly funded by billionaires and special interests who have no care in the world for actually, democracy, I would say, right, for lack of a better word. I just think we need to really, truly think long and hard about where we're at in this country right now. It's going to require us to be really radical and transformational in what we're requiring from our candidates, our elected officials, our party leaders. And that's why I'm leading on this. I campaigned on this idea of democratizing the DNC. And part of that is getting bad money out of politics, right? And making sure at the end of the day, we're returning power back to the grassroots, our state and local party committees, the activists and volunteers on the ground.
Well, thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate it. And
Thank
thanks
you.
for having us here.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Take care.